Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back. It's Marie with Swipe in the City. And today we're here with Mike the producer.
Hey, what up?
Happy to have you back, Mike.
Happy to be back.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, it has.
What's new? How's life?
Work, MMA, jiu-jitsu, dating the same woman.
There we go. Say it.
That's about it for me. Just trying to make more money. Might open a food truck. I don't know.
I fully support this, even though I still have not tried the meatballs.
I'll fucking make them next weekend if you want. I ain't got nothing going on. You have to try them.
I mean, don't tempt me with a good time.
I'll do it.
I was really upset because I was like sick whenever you made them before, and I was like,
Is that what happened?
I cannot in good conscience. Yeah, I was like legitimately ill.
Shit, all my friends who want to try them are out of town this weekend too. Maybe next.
You have friends other than me? I'm shocked.
Yeah. They're real.
It's like, actually, you're not even my friend.
Moving on.
Moving on. We have a fun, I use that term loosely, I think, for some people, fun topic. Mike is back to talk with us about politics and dating. So, some hot buttons, I'm thinking.
Yeah, I was slightly pressured into this one.
Hey, this was your idea. Excuse me.
Yeah, I got consecutive weeks, though, texts saying, hey, like, I want to do this. I'm like, okay.
Well, we scheduled and then we rescheduled.
I'm just a little hesitant. I like my job. I don't want to lose it.
You're not going to lose your job.
No, I'm not. I'm going to be very sure of that today.
You won't lose your job. If you do, I was going to say you can fire me, but that doesn't make any sense at all.
We're good.
Considering neither of us here are paid.
We're good. I don't have any fucking insane illogical views, but
So you think?
I mean, I base a lot of my logic and data, which is extremely important in what we're going to talk about today. But no, like I think in today's society, no, it's just like people tend to listen to, and I'm just fucking choosing our topic right now. I don't know what you wanted to start with, but
no, go for it.
No, it's just like there's a left and a right now all of a sudden, and whatever the left says is gospel if you're on the left, and same with the right. And if you're on the right, you're a skinhead, or if you're on the left, you're a social justice warrior, which I texted you.
Yep.
And there's like hardly any in between to my knowledge. Most people I used to see on dating sites, dating apps, was always like
moderate.
No, no, the opposite. Well, you see a lot of like swipe left if you voted for Trump or right, whatever the fuck it was.
Now, but I'm thinking like 5 or so years ago.
Oh yeah.
I would say pre-2016 election.
Yeah,
it was like more like people didn't really talk about it.
So that's what happened was I was listening to a podcast actually a few weeks ago. I think it was Rogan, but he was like, when Trump came in, he created this insane social divide over politics where suddenly this radicalization came into play and like there was no in between. And it's all his fault. Which I think is accurate.
I mean, there was something about that election and like the marketing and the propaganda and like everything that was said that was polarizing.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, to your point, it's like it's so frustrating. I would consider myself very like middle of the road, fence sitter type person. And it's like that's not even okay. Like that's not okay by anybody on the right. That's not okay by anybody on the left. Yeah,
you have to be all in one way or the other.
And it's not that simple.
So I stopped listening to Rogan for a while. I just picked him back up a few weeks ago.
I'm sorry.
But he actually says that. He's like I'm more liberal than anything, but you should see the amount of people on both sides who attack me, calling me the opposite thing. He's like, I'm just in the middle here, man. Like, I have my own beliefs. Like, leave me the fuck alone.
It's I mean, not to get into like how you vote or whatever, but I'm like, I look at policy, like policy to policy. I may have one thing that's a little bit more conservative and one thing that's a little bit more liberal.
That's probably the number one way you can pick out a fucking idiot is it's like, oh, you hate Trump. Why do you hate Trump? Because he's a pig. Yeah, he is. But, like, why else do you hate it? Like, why do you think he would be bad running this country? Well, because he's not a good person, and that's why I voted for Biden. Okay, well, let's see where that got us.
Well, I mean, you can say that about literally any politician. Mm-hmm. Like, my dad always used to say, I'd be like, Dad, who did you vote for back when I was, like, a little kid and I cared about his opinion? And he'd be like, I voted for the less of two evils. And, like, he would say it with such, like, I don't think my dad is not a confident person. I've never heard anything said so confidently by him before.
Yeah.
And it would be the same answer, that answer every single year. And, like, I subscribe to that now. It's probably the only thing I think that he's taught me that's positive.
Definitely. But I mean, you know better than I do at this point, but like on the dating market, how common is it that people will it's a deal breaker if you're on the opposite side as them?
Well, and I mean, and it's not even just like opposite via person, but like opposite via policy too, which I almost think policy might make a little bit more sense. We can kind of like talk a little bit about deal breakers and stuff later. But like what was it? You said like swipe left if you voted this way or that way.
I used to see a million women
everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere. More so like right around the election.
And all that, like what that is saying is, I don't care who you are, if you did this one thing, even if you had amazing reasons for doing it, fuck you. I don't even want to give you a shot. And that mentality made me so pessimistic about the fucking dating pool. I was like disgusted by it.
Well, yeah, I mean, I feel like that's kind of a good place to start because, I mean, we've already touched on this wasn't really something that was even discussed several years ago. Like, literally, it used to be a taboo. Like, you'd go to dinner and it was like some kind of cliche. You wouldn't bring up religion or politics. And now it's like you sit down at dinner and it's the first fucking thing you talk about.
Yeah.
And, I mean, at what point do you think it would even be appropriate to bring something like that up with somebody that you're interested in? Because clearly it's not just on the app.
I mean, for my... God, I pride myself in like reading people. I can know pretty quickly who you side with, and at that point, I make it my job, my priority to figure out if you're fucking radical or not, or if you're actually logical enough to listen to the other side. And that's really just the biggest issue I have with, you know, our generation today. Is like we're just picking sides, and whatever the fuck Fox News says or CNN, like it's the truth, and if you say anything against it, then you should be canceled.
Well, it's not even just our generation. It's our parents. It's probably not our parents' parents. I think they care less. Maybe, I don't know, or maybe it's just mine because she's in the hospital. But I shouldn't laugh at that.
Jesus.
But it's like, I mean, my brother's generation, too. He's, like, 22. And then it's younger as long as you can understand politics. But you're also probably at that point basing your frame of reference over your parents, your siblings, etc.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's... Ours... Okay, so my dad and my stepmom have Fox News on a 24/7 stream in their house. I come over, nobody's even home, and Fox News is on in the kitchen. And I'm like, that's literally brainwashing. You can't do that. Like, that's horrible. And it's like the same fucking hour, just on repeat.
Well, that's all the news really is. I mean, the news, I feel like, was never really meant to have more than just, like, a couple episodes each day. Like, morning news, maybe lunch, and then evening.
Right.
And now it's literally just like, because my parents do the same thing with MSNBC and CNN.
Yeah.
And every time I go home, I'm like, okay, can we either turn the TV off or turn something else on? This is so, it's bad for your mental health.
It's horrible.
More than anything else, in my opinion.
Every time I'm at my dad's house, I'm actually visiting him now in like 2 months, unfortunately. No, I'm kidding. But,
just trashing Dad this episode.
He's not gonna listen. But no, I'll walk downstairs and just mute the TV, and like nobody will even notice. But but like, all right, so yeah, so with our parents, it's TV. They get all their information from TV. With us, it's fucking Facebook and Apple News and Instagram memes. And I mean, I don't know what your opinion is on like the whole woke movement, but I feel like it's starting to turn around, and it's starting to be like, okay, like maybe we should hear a guy out if he was accused of something, because now there's a bunch of false allegations running around instead of hanging somebody before there's like, you know.
You mean like by woke movement, you mean like Me Too and similar.
Definitely that, yeah. Like there were good intentions behind it, and like it was a great movement, but like anything, like there were radicals involved, and they started making the movement look stupid. Yeah.
My problem with that whole movement, not to like get down a rabbit hole, but like was just that when it kind of became a beast of its own, and because of that, and because people were making false or like over dramatized accusations, it kind of discredits the people that actually were having like that problem, like that actually happened to.
Definitely.
And I mean, to me, that's where that all like having like actually had similar situations, like that pisses me off.
Yeah. So,
I mean, I didn't really subscribe to it personally, but I'm for anybody, and maybe I shouldn't say that, I don't know, but like if you've been affected like that, I feel like it is important to talk about it. But at the same time, I think we all need to be kind of more cognizant of how we talk about it, which can also kind of tie back to dating.
So the way you just explained that, the way you just explained your thought process, like, that's what I want to get behind. Do you think that is uncommon? Like, do you think there are so many people out there who are just like, no, like, fuck you, like, Me Too or die, or, you know, whatever movement?
Like, you mean in terms, okay, I'm trying to think of what would be the most relevant right now. Either, like, BLM.
Sure.
Pride. Abortion in Texas.
I think everybody's on the same page with abortion.
Everybody.
In our age group, though?
Our friends, sure. But, like, I don't think everybody in our age group in Texas is on the same page with it.
It's really hard to believe. It's extremely hard to believe.
I've got family that is...
like, our age family?
Yes and no, and some older, but yeah, just a lot of, yeah.
All right, well, back to the initial, yeah.
Where were we? Like a hot button topic. Basically what you're saying is like, okay, so if somebody was like BLM, or like if you don't support BLM.
Yeah, no, that was on.
Then you're a bad person.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the messaging is wrong. Personally, I mean, let's not say wrong, because then that's also me messaging what I'm thinking wrong.
Well, I agree, but what I'm saying is like, even that was on dating apps when I was on.
Yeah.
It's like, if you're not BLM, swipe left. Is it left or right?
Left means you don't like.
Okay, so swipe left if you don't like BLM or don't support it. I saw that plenty of times.
That's also difficult because it's like a movement. And I would probably respond and be like, define support, which they'd probably take the wrong way, because I think everybody supports a cause a little bit differently. So it's like, if you don't support, and it's like because you didn't go to the BLM, like any of the marches, and that's what they mean, versus like if you think it's an irrelevant topic, those are two very different perspectives.
Do you have any friends who think like that? Female.
Specifically about BLM, or like of anything?
No, anything. Like any movement. Do you think they're like this or get the fuck out, and like I don't want to hear anything different?
I don't think so. But I think that's because you and I kind of are cut from like similar cloths there, and like we also are friends with a lot of the same people. Would you say that you know some?
I think I can think of a few.
Oh.
In this apartment complex.
Oh. Probably people I don't hang out with then.
Do you hang out with anybody?
No, just Michelle.
Exactly.
Michelle and Lindsay, I think that's it.
No, I'm trying to figure out if I have a misconception of our generation, if people are actually like that, or if that's just an image they're putting out. But I've seen it. I just don't know how true it is or how common it is, and I don't know.
Well, it's like, I think it's even more, I mean, it's just as prevalent probably on the apps as it is on social media. Yeah. And everybody, like, just sharing their thoughts or their, like, causes they support as if it's gospel. But because you're just sharing, say, a post, and there probably isn't too much in terms of background behind it, yeah. I feel like you're not giving people context. And you're not opening up a dialogue for a conversation. And, I mean, no matter which way you lean, politically even, like, no matter which way you lean, personally, I think one of the more interesting aspects of politics is the discussion and the debate, and like listening to somebody else explaining what makes them agree or disagree with a particular topic. Is that crazy?
No, but I think it's uncommon from my experience. I think there are a lot of hard-headed people out there who don't want to have that discussion. And
Definitely.
And they're so ingrained in their beliefs that if you say anything, they have a reaction, and it's not, a productive reaction.
I agree with you. I also just think that it seems like there's a lot more of that than there actually is, because of like the messaging that people are using without really thinking about it. Like, they're thinking, oh, I believe that this is right, and everybody should think this way. But they might actually be open to dialogue. Sorry.
No, that's what my girlfriend says. She's like, I think more people are moderate than you think. And it's just the media fucking with you. Well, that's all I had to say today. We'll wrap this up. If that's the case.
He's like, all right, can I go now? Thank you. I didn't want to be here. No, I mean, I agree with your girlfriend. Like, I do think that more people are moderate than like they'd even care to admit, because we're also only seeing a lot of things that are topic based versus like, I don't know. Again, it's not opening to have a discussion. And like, the problem too is when somebody posts or like has something on their profile that says swipe left if you voted for Trump or Hillary or Biden or whoever, you can't, like, if I were to read that, I can't respond really to like open up a conversation, because that phrase already has me on the defense.
Right. So,
I mean, personally, I think maybe this should be discussed on a date versus posted publicly on an app. If you want to go best practices.
For sure.
To kind of shift gears a little bit, what do you think about if somebody has, we'll say, a red flag or a deal breaker about any particular topic? Like, do you think that that's, I don't want to say okay, because now we're like getting back in the black and white stuff, but like, what do you think of that?
Are you saying if somebody has a strong belief in something? Like,
what if I said to you, I will not date a guy who does not, or I won't date a guy if he is for the new abortion law?
Well, are you talking to me or somebody who opposes the abortion law? Or, I'm sorry, is with the abortion law? Fuck. Okay.
What if I said I won't date somebody, who voted for Trump?
To me?
To anybody. Like,
okay.
What if I said, like, I went out with a guy, I just found out that he voted that way, And I'm like, well, now I'm gonna dump him.
I think it points to you're a fucking idiot. Honestly, it's like
me or him.
You in the scenario.
Okay.
It's like for you to think that simplistically and like A plus B equals C and that's that. It's like, oh, if you voted for Trump, you're clearly an asshole. It's like that kind of fucking primitive thinking that you want to avoid at all costs. So honestly, it's a good thing to figure out if your partner or your date thinks like that. Because there are probably a lot of other stupid arguments on the way. Like you need to know how to argue in a relationship to make it work, right?
Let's say communicate effectively.
Yes, correct. To discuss.
Bad. Discuss.
Well, you will have arguments, right? And you need to know how to argue. That's important. Because if tensions are high, emotions are high, and you're having a disagreement, you need to be like you need to be smart enough to take a step back, handle your emotions, and then start thinking logically and in a fucking normal way, an intelligent way. And people saying like, I don't want to talk to you, we're breaking up because you voted for Trump, they're just fucking like Neanderthals at that point.
Well, no matter whichever side you go, right? Like, I mean, I didn't vote for him either election, and like I have very good friends that did, and that doesn't make me think that they're pieces of shit. Like, they are still very near and dear to me. It doesn't change anything. Yeah.
Now, if somebody was like, oh, I'm mad that you voted for Trump, why did you vote for Trump? Then that's a step in the right direction. If somebody straight up says it's over because we voted for Trump, get the fuck out of there. But
not worth your time anyway.
Yeah, but it's like, okay, well, like, what did you like about Trump as your eyes twitching? No, I didn't vote for him either. I didn't vote for anybody because I don't vote because it's a waste of time. I'm one person, and I'm sorry. That's my view.
Says the former Marine.
Yeah. Oh, I get a lot of shit.
Cut that?
I get a lot of shit from my family about it.
I bet. Well, I mean, I think what you just said is key. No matter where you spin it, no matter what stage of dating or even like a friendship you're at with somebody too, is like asking questions. I feel like that's so important. Like people I don't know, when did we stop asking questions? Actually, maybe that's a better question than any of this.
Well, like I'm saying, like I think it was when Trump came in, and he was such a disgusting figure that people were triggered by his name. And like, if you support him, then you're clearly also a piece of shit. And I don't want to know any more about you because you're so repulsed. Because he has said some disgusting shit, and like sure. I get that, but like, handle your fucking emotions and have a discussion.
Well, yeah, I mean, and I think you can learn a lot about anybody and anything really by just like simply asking, because the further apart we all get from each other on the spectrum, wow, this is going to get deep. Further apart we're getting from each other on the spectrum, we're not asking questions. We're just going to continue to like, I mean, this is what's been happening over the past, 5 or 6 years, is things have just been getting worse. And, like, the people on the left said, oh, when Trump's out of office, it's going to get better. Has it gone better? No. So, what do we need to do? Like, can we all just fucking get along?
What else is on this list?
Let's see. We talked about red flags, deal breakers, swiping, labeling. We've kind of touched on it. Like, you mentioned skinheads, etc. And I think, I mean, personally, I think the labeling is really where things do become more black and white for everybody. It's like we feel the need to classify fucking everything, which I guess is as humans, we've kind of always done that. I remember learning about it like back in biology or science or whatever. But like, I feel like it's just become so extreme and so grainier. Yeah.
Are you talking about like classifying everything like social media?
Anything in the realm of social and politics. Like, now I'm blanking on any kind of other example.
Well, I don't know if this is where you were going, but all my shit is private. And unless I choose to accept you, you can't see what the fuck I'm posting because I don't want anybody taking it out of context and then labeling me. There's actually a woman on LinkedIn who she has some insane following for some reason, and she literally just targets people. I don't follow her. Like, my ex-roommate sends me shit, and I just fucking laugh. But apparently she tries canceling people over LinkedIn over their posts or over their comments on her posts, and she blasts them out. And she's like, hey, whoever, like, I'm sending this to the entire company until he gets fired, like, over this one comment. Like, it's fucking crazy.
Nobody cares about LinkedIn. I want to throw that out there.
I think people do.
But how does anybody have that fucking much power?
I don't know. I don't know if she's gotten anywhere with it, but he just sends.
I guess would be not really.
He just sends me random posts. But like in today's culture, like companies can't be too careful, especially if it's a smaller company. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, this guy's getting blasted, and apparently he's been labeled a racist. So get rid of Todd. We can't take this chance.
I see it a lot in Bachelor Nation.
Yeah.
Like. Well, and I mean, Bachelor as, like, just kind of like a little, like, globe thing, like, what is it? The shaky globes? Whatever. It's really interesting because they all live in this bubble. That's the word I was looking for. And they're obviously not famous prior to going on the show. Mm-hmm. And there's something about Bachelor, like, viewers that take social media stalking to an extreme. Like, if it were an extreme sport, the person who won the Olympics every year, every 4 years, would be, like, involved in Bachelor Nation, because, like, they will dig shit up that is, like, from, okay, this person will say she's, like, 27. They will pull something that she wrote on Twitter when she was fucking 17. And, dude, I have, like, 14,000 tweets on my Twitter right now.
God.
If I became famous, I don't even want to know what people would find. I have no idea what I tweeted when I was 16.
Yeah, so exactly. It's the Kevin Hart thing.
Yeah.
Like Kevin Hart getting.
That's a more famous example.
Kevin Hart getting crucified for what I think he said gay. I think he said the word gay, and he used it how people used to use it when nobody knew any better.
He's also a comedian, and I'm
He's
not
a fucking comedian.
That, like,
no, but
when you're a comedian, it makes everything okay. But, like, isn't part of being a comedian kind of pushing some of those buttons?
Yes, you would think. Yes.
For the sake of laughter.
They've tried canceling like every comedian.
Because they say fucked up shit.
Luckily, the comedy world kind of has each other's back. So they're usually untouchable. But all right, I got two things. You said social media stalking. So whenever I used to match with people on fucking Tinder or Bumble or whatever, I actually I dug up this one girl's mugshot. I don't know if I told you this.
I think you've talked about that before.
Yeah. It was fucking awesome. It was just like drunken, disorderly conduct or whatever, and she just looks all drunk and sad in her mugshot, and I was like, I don't think I'm going out on Tuesday. And the second thing I wanted to bring up, because you went on kind of a rant.
Sorry.
No, I don't apologize. So there's a Facebook group I have told you about, which... Yeah. Am I allowed to name it? Do you not want me to name it?
Up to you.
Okay. So there's this...
It's a public group, so... Or whatever.
Not the one I'm thinking of.
No, but, like, it exists in a public space.
Yeah, you're right. There's this thing called Don't Date Him Austin, and apparently it lists out a bunch of men and the misdeeds they have done. And first we thought it was going to be, like... a bunch of salty women who like went on bad dates and start blasting people out. We did have somebody infiltrate the group. We got information. And it turns out it's like a bunch of married men and like, you know, dangerous men. So that's awesome that there's a group for that. It's really cool. However, this individual got kicked out of the group because for liking a comment on the page, and the comment was, "Hey guys, like, I know like we're all like trying to, you know, point out how men are bad and all this, but you know, saying somebody's dick is small is still body shaming." And our operative on the inside liked that comment and got deleted from the group. So that's the end of that.
Well, I mean, if you're trying to be a mole, you should probably just like lay low and not even like. I mean, liking comments is pretty low, but like. You want to be like invisible at that point.
It's just fucking hilarious.
So you need like, a better mole next
Well, the
time.
sad thing is there were like 2,000 fucking women in this group, and like, all right, yeah, good on you if you're trying to be safe, but if you're just trashing men who like, and who knows how much of that shit's actually made up. I don't know. I thought that was relevant.
No, 100%. And like, I mean, when it comes to that kind of shit too, it's like, well, okay. Me too, right? It's like anytime somebody was accused of something, it's hard to prove certain things.
Yeah.
But like, you need to have at least a little bit.
That's the fucked up part.
A little bit. And that's part of the reason why rape victims, like why that goes nowhere in court, why cops don't give a shit.
Right.
Because it's all hearsay. And that sucks.
Cops don't give a shit because they know they can't, like, prove anything.
Right.
There's no evidence, and that's the fucked up part. And I think that's why when it started, it was like, we need to take these women at their word because we can't fucking prove it. Like,
right. It was like, we have to.
Yeah, it's like, at least destroy this motherfucker's life. Like, don't let him work anywhere, which I'm on board with, but then there's just the whole other side, and, you know, it just gets out of control.
Yeah, I mean, don't rape people.
Yeah, I'm on board with that.
I think that's simple.
Yeah.
I don't know why we have to debate it, but I wish it were easier to prove for sure.
Yeah.
Because, like, to everything that we've said, too, about, like, asking questions and, like, this and that.
You were itching for that podcast.
What?
That episode.
About Me Too?
No, about sex.
Yes, you know it. Someday.
Yeah, no, the consent thing's weird. Do you know about the Aziz Ansari thing?
I've heard whispers.
Oh, God. Just look it up. It's fucked up. I think he basically, like, asked for consent for everything, and then the woman eventually was like, oh, I didn't like that experience at all. I'm going to the cops. I don't fucking know. I honestly don't know what I'm talking about. That's what I've heard. It was something along those lines, but basically Aziz did like absolutely nothing wrong, and she tried to, I don't know, make something of it.
Well, but anytime something happens where there's even the debate of that, it discredits every woman that's had a real story.
Yeah.
Let's see. So labeling sucks. Let's not do it.
Yes.
Well, we started with like apps and swipe right, swipe left. One last thing, and then I say we do some final words and wrap it.
Sure.
Because I told you this earlier. I was like, Bumble has these restrictions that I honestly totally forgot about.
Yeah, let's do it.
Anybody listening, if you did not know this, then you're probably following all the rules. And I can't remember like what big event caused it, but Bumble updated their guidelines to where they have some restrictions on photos specifically. Do you want me? Should I read the whole list, or should I just go over,
pick the ones you like.
Well,
all the obvious ones, but you know, what about the not so obvious?
There's the obvious ones, and the problem I have, like, some of them are just very specific. No kids on their own. Also, they must be fully clothed in the photo with an adult. I'm sorry, but if you're posting naked tiny humans on a dating app,
somebody did it, so they had to.
Away.
Somebody did it, so they had to put it on there. That's what happened.
No wearing swimwear inside. My question is, what if it's an indoor pool?
Got you there, Bumble.
Yeah, there's like obvious, and then there's no shirtless or underwear mirror selfies. Obviously no porn, and then no graphic hunting photos, which I would imagine is like an actual kill shot or something, and then no guns.
Yeah, fucking liberals. No. I mean, I get why they put those guidelines in place. Some idiot ruined it for everybody, I'm sure. But sorry, you fucking hunters. No more showing off your fucking guns. Apparently. Go to Tinder where you belong.
Well, and I think that's some of it too, right? Is like Bumble, at least half of the Bumble brand, I think, is like differentiating itself from Tinder as being like literally the same thing but also completely opposite.
I'm more woke than you are. I think that's what it is.
Basically. And Minnie just screamed, my cat, if nobody heard that, if it didn't pick up. But she screamed because she completely agrees. I mean, so I remember when this, I don't remember what caused it, but I remember when it happened. Because I was working in media at the time. And I was also working for a hunting and fishing publication. So I definitely saw some very extreme perspectives of it.
Okay.
And I mean, I will go shooting. So like I had a picture of me shooting because I live in Texas, and quite frankly,
I'm not gonna lie, it's badass for a woman to have. Yeah, you were doing it right.
It was probably like, I know specifically when I had it on my Hinge profile, it was one of probably the most liked photos that I had on there.
Yeah, it's an immediate connection with somebody. It's like, oh shit, you like shooting? I love shooting.
Even people that have never been shooting.
Yeah.
Like, but, and so, well, and the thing was, like, my photo in particular that did get taken down, I was like shooting at a target. Camera was behind me, so it's not like I've got a gun pointed at the camera, which to me that would not be cool.
Yeah,
that'd be fucked up. So I was like a little annoyed, but also I kind of get it. But one of the things I remember reading on Twitter when they first launched it was women who do feel a certain kind of way, whether it's guns or hunting, they were like, well, now I can't weed them out. They're like, now if I'm so extreme that I don't want to date a guy who has guns or goes shooting at any point in his life, now I don't see that.
Yeah, that's not what, yeah. I mean, they did it. They probably did it because there was some fucking gang shit going on, honestly. But, you know, it'd be hilarious is if you get in tactical gear and act like you're holding a rifle, and that's your picture.
But you're not?
Yeah. Fucking cancel me, Bumble. I dare you.
Okay, Mike. Go ahead. I mean, yeah, like, again, like, I understand it. I understand where it's coming from. The fact that it came alongside like a whole list of guidelines, to me, I was like, again, working in media, I'm like, this feels a little like censorship.
And then you can get into the whole fucking Facebook censorship and all that. Yep. We don't have to go there.
I need to get down that rabbit hole.
No, but it's like, dude, if you're a private company, do whatever the fuck you want. I don't care. Like, I get it. And it sucks, but like ultimately they're not breaking the law, so.
Well, that's the difference too between Bumble, a dating app, and like media, like news, etc.
Yeah.
And Facebook, like that's the major difference there. But now that like we've had this whole discussion too, I'm thinking back to talking about like swipe left about Trump, Hillary, etc. And I'm like, the same people that were mad about like hunting photos and guns and stuff being taken off of Bumble because they wanted to vet people out are probably the same people interacting with prompts like that or bios like that.
Yeah, could be. They should delete that so the idiots can just find each other.
How would you even, like, I don't know if there's an algorithm that smart.
Just search for Trump or Hillary and you'll delete probably 10,000 profiles.
Probably, actually.
Yeah. Did I tell you, I know you're wrapping up, but
Go for it.
no, I forgot to mention this. I was vegan like 2 years ago for 60 days, 60 full days I went.
Proud of you.
Yeah, I mean, I believed in it. I just felt like bullshit, and I was like, I think I need meat and dairy. I felt like a fucking feral cat. But no, I was talking to this girl at this bar at Staggerly, and I could tell she was like more right-leaning, and I don't know how I could just tell. First of all, she's at Staggerly, so... Really? On Rainy? Oh, Staggerly's awesome. Go check it out. So, I don't know, we were talking for like 5 full minutes and like kind of hitting it off. And, I don't know, she said something and I was like, oh yeah, I'm actually, I've actually been vegan for like 3 weeks. And she looked the other way and was like, I actually have somewhere I have to go. Walked away. I was
You're
like,
kidding.
God damn. Like, people do not like vegans. The right does not like vegans. We want our meat and we want our freedom.
I mean, I like... that's going to be taken out of context. I like meat, but...
Well, dude, instantly I was like, what the fuck? I was like, am I like limiting myself because I'm vegan now? Do people... I'm labeled now, ultimately.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking insane. But dodge a bullet, clearly.
I mean, given everything we've said thus far, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, well, that was obviously a while ago. Because I feel like vegan in Austin is a lot more accepted than, like, elsewhere.
It was in Austin, but yeah.
It was still?
Yeah.
It wasn't.
Yeah, it was in Austin.
All right. I'm trying to give a little bit of benefit of the doubt here, but it's not going to work.
I'm telling you, like, that's, I don't know.
So, after 60 days, did you stop being vegan to open up your dating pool?
I'm not gonna lie, that kind of weighed on my mind. I was like, Jesus, I'm being fucking labeled now, like I'm a liberal, and I'm the opposite, honestly. I don't know. Yeah, kind of jacked me up. But no,
I'm sorry to hear that blow to your self-esteem.
Yeah, no, I was just, I felt like shit, not eating meat. Everybody's different. I think I need meat, honestly.
On that note.
Great note to end.
On that note, Mike, is there any projects or anything you're working on right now that you want to plug with us?
I'll come back on when my food truck's up and running.
Hell yeah. I'm fucking stoked. Awesome. Well, everybody, thanks for listening. If you have any hot takes or responses, guess what? We like conversations and communication, so slide in. At Swipe and the City across all platforms. And if you have something horrible that you want to say to me or great, at Marie R. Carlson everywhere.
Yeah, dude, send your stories in about people who've labeled you.
Ooh.
Read them off.
Yeah. Anybody who wants to talk about or share their own shit, send it on over.
For sure.
Bye.
See ya.